Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Bailey and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is her ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands. The little tiny corrections and lots of motivation that we give her when we're working with her. We're also using a clicker and treats, and we're also using training equipment, which is a 6-foot web training leash, which Rich keeps the bulk probably folded in his left hand because he is using a clicker and treats. And the left hand is then free to give any correction that's needed with her training collar. Now she's sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Bailey heel. Now at this point she has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you when you're walking. Not forging ahead, not lagging behind, and our ultimate goal is to keep her head up off the ground. Because as soon as she drops her head, she's no longer heeling, and she's leading the walk at that point. When Rich turns, she should turn. If he speeds up or slows down, she should do the same. And if she drops her head and gets distracted, you saw him give that little correction. When he stops his feet, she should sit without being told to wait for her next command. Very nice. And she's a little bit of a diva, so we brought a blanket out for her. This is her sit stay. It's a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. The long sit stay, when you're practicing at home, can be practiced indoors as well as outdoors. When Rich returns back to her, he walks right back to her shoulders where they started, and you can substitute praise for a treat. So we're doing a little bit of both. Because she is young, we want her to enjoy the training. We also want her to understand who's in charge. So after today, it's going to be you. Rich is going to leave her in another sit stay.
Stay.
And she's not used to having me out here with the tripod and a camera either. And this time, instead of returning back to her, Rich will call her. This is your recall or your come on command. And don't get too excited when you call her. Low key so she doesn't come in and jump on you. And practice your sit stays indoors as well as outdoors. And lengthen out the amount of time and the distance that you can go with your stationary commands. A proper long down stay is up to 5 minutes, so it's going to take you a couple months.
Stay.
Very nice sit stay. And then Rich will demonstrate the come on command again. And coming to you is always a good thing, so Rich gives her a treat for coming. And then he just tells her to heel, and he starts walking again. He readjusts his training collar, and we're going to talk about that when you come to. She's really a sweet girl, and she's come a long way. Nice automatic sit. Now the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are your down commands. So with her seated at your left, you're going to use your left open palm straight down toward the ground on the one-word command to down and stay. And practice this in the house because there's no real reason to have your dog laying down outside.
No. Come on. Now. Stay. Stay.
This is a good command to have to use in the house. And you can use a blanket or something as her mark to go down and stay. When Rich returns back to her, he'll walk right back to her shoulders where they started, and then he'll give her another command. So he heels her out of that. And doing right turns is hard because if the dog isn't paying attention, they end up not next to your left leg. Left turns tend to be easier, but practice both. And it keeps her interested in heeling. Heeling is boring. It's walking in a straight line, and then before you know it, she's got her head on the ground looking for sticks.
Down. Stay.
And again, you're going to lengthen out the amount of time that she's able to hold it. So time it. If it's 15 seconds, 20 seconds, you can add 5 seconds a day. And before you know it, you'll be all the way up there. This time Rich calls her out of that. And you can't hear him even say, Bailey, come, because he keeps his voice very low key so she doesn't get overly excited. And then the very last command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the hardest one. Rich leaves her in a sit-stay. He's going to turn to face her, and he's going to give her a down from a distance. And you're going to, again, lengthen out your distance.
Stay.
So we have demonstrated for you some of Bailey's new skills. You can use your video to practice with at home, put it up on your computer. She's done a real nice job. We think you're going to be very proud of her. We want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company, and we will see you very soon.